customers sometimes misunderstand is, for us, it's not just, post it online at €1,000,000
Exactly.
and hope it sells.
I promise it, but within 90 days, that's kind of the goal that we can achieve.
We do get inquiries from Instagram, from LinkedIn, from other platforms. And I think this is the reality across the scale, whether you're at ultra high net worth. That is the way these algorithms are set up now. Everything is always trying to sell. Hello, and welcome back to the Yacht Show. I'm Brandon Brown, founder of Browns International, and today we have Mr. Spencer Brown back with us for another episode.
It's great to be back. Thanks, Brandon.
It's great to have you back. Today, due to the time of year, we're at where are we? We are the 17th, 19th of March.
Middle of March, yeah, already.
Yeah, so it's crazy how quick time flies.
Yeah.
But we're in the middle of March already, and I thought today we'd do an episode a little bit about selling boats, times to sell boats, why now is prime time, as we like to call it, at Browns. And essentially, I thought we'd just bounce some ideas back and forth about that. So for you, why is now the right time to list a boat?
I think prime time is a really good phrase. I think, when you look at the calendar, when people want to buy boats, how people buy boats, it is very much the ramp is moving up all the way at this time of year. There's so many more buyers in the market. There's so many more boats becoming available. So now is the time for people to get their boat on the market, and now is the time to use services like Browns International to find that perfect boat.
Absolutely. I also believe, and again, when we say March is the prime time, it is, but essentially we're talking about prime time in med boating terms, of course.
Correct, yeah.
In this particular instance, which is obviously something that we focus on very heavily. Why? I guess where I'm trying to go next is essentially you're a buyer. You are somebody looking at where you're going to go next.
Yep.
Perhaps you have a vessel already. Perhaps you need to sell that before you go into the next one. Perhaps something's caught your eye. What reasons do we give over other people, do you think?
I think I've always looked on this from the buyer's point of view. Generally, the buyer is a professional businessman. He has a strategy in his head about his business. Likewise, he thinks about buying as a strategy. So to help him with that strategy, to solve the problem is, I don't have a boat, or I want a boat, and we can assist with the solution to get the right boat. And that's how I look at it. Business people think along those lines. We're here to help, advise, and consult and find the right thing for them.
Absolutely. And again, coming back to how we do that at Browns, I mean, I think collectively, we were trying to work this out earlier, and obviously, as you might know, math is not my strongest point, but I got a calculator out. I mean, obviously joking here. But essentially, we have 36 years combined of experience of selling boats.
Yeah, between two of us.
Yeah, it's quite I never really looked at that figure before, but 36 years combined boat sales experience. Obviously, as well, we've recently been hiring in and bringing in the in-house media side of things to make sure that is at the forefront of our business. But I think also what's really important about Brown specifically when it comes to listing and selling the vessel for the customer, we always look at it in the same way, but I always say, essentially, as a brokerage house, we list the vessel on your behalf. Our main interest, our way of earning our piece of the cake is by selling that boat.
We only earn if we sell. Simple as that. Yeah.
There is no other distractions. It is essentially our listings are what we sell. We're obviously, as the names obviously as give away, we are a family-run business.
Yep.
And we're a small team that focus on specifically that side of things.
And I do think that's an important thing to underline is that, we are family. We know each other very well. We know how we work. You worked for me and my team in your past couple of chapters of your career. I'm now your junior broker.
That's quite how it works.
How the tables have turned. But at the end of the day, we understand that we want to make a personal relationship and achieve the aim for this client, whether it's selling or buying. It's as simple as that.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. I think one of the things that comes up that's quite interesting is when a client approaches us. So let's say you're a customer who's found your next boat. You've found where you want to be. I think often what we get is, I found what I want, but they won't take my boat in part exchange. Or I found what I want, but I need to sell mine because it's a used vessel and therefore I can't get into it without selling my boat.
Yeah.
And the first question, I mean, obviously we can show them where we advertise. We can show them how we advertise. All of those things are part of the package that we show the customer in the first place. But I think what's really interesting is talking about durations of periods of sale.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, this can be, you can go very specific with this because every boat is different, but you can go very specific with this or you can go very generic. And I think in this case, it's almost a bit of a generic question. We've done a bit of research on this, but what do you think a fair time to sell your vessel is? From listing, as in from physically getting it up live, online, priced accordingly, etc. What do you think is a fair time frame to sell a boat?
I mean, in reality, if you Google that fact, there's one major search engine that states it's 300 days. And, I think that's a long time to be considering selling your yacht. I would love to say that, you can never promise it, but within 90 days, that's kind of the goal that we can achieve. You put the boat on the market, first of all, we might need to tweak the price or some pictures or whatever to make it that little bit more attractive. So once you've listed it, there's a month gone almost of that, if you like, advisory time, and then you're in the meat of it. 60 to 90 days is perfect. And I do believe that you've broken that on one boat. You managed it in 30 days?
Yes.
Listing to sale?
Yes, we did. We did a 30-day listing to completion.
Wow.
So we literally did, everything from point of photography to actual completion date was 30 days all inclusive.
That's phenomenal. I mean, that's amazing. That's so sharp. And I think as well, the other thing to say is that, recently a customer's come to you via your Instagram posts, which is obviously, you think of Instagram, you think about machine gunning out to the world.
Yeah.
For a customer to come back and notice you amongst all the other brokers, notice the quality of Brown's presentation, I think that's a really strong thing to say. And hopefully there's many more of those.
I think I say it to a lot of clients and I say it to a lot of people in the industry that I work with often. I think the thing is, this is the future. When I'm looking for a car, I think about the car, I Google the car, I might talk about to my girlfriend about the car. All of a sudden, it's all over my Instagram. You can't get rid of the thing. It will not leave you alone. And I think this is the reality across the scale, whether you're at ultra high net worth or whether you're looking at a normal vehicle. That is the way these algorithms are set up now. Everything is always trying to sell. And I think ultimately, I don't want that to be the perception of the company. However, what we do want to make sure is that when we have listings for customers, we have them presented to the absolute perfect degree. And like you say, we do get inquiries from Instagram, from LinkedIn, from other platforms, which do turn into sales because you get to drive that person into the right thing that suits them and is the optimal boat for them. Yeah,
exactly. And I think that's a big. You mentioned earlier about the kind of the way that people look on all these media to find what they want. The media are looking for what they're looking for as well. So your things are portrayed very, very clearly. Put it that way.
Absolutely, and I think it comes back to the same thing. Again, coming back down to we have in-house media. Our social platforms are very strong, but of course we do also advertise across absolutely all of the main yachting sales search engines. Yeah. So your Yacht World group, which obviously contains, they have every platform in the world now, but almost every platform in the world, slight exaggeration. But we advertise across all the Yacht World groups pages. We also advertise across Yacht Market, Right Boat, and plenty of the other international ones in multiple languages, etc. So we always ensure that those boats are seen worldwide. And obviously, that's the aim of the game.
One thing I think I get a lot of feedback on from when I was in my last chapter in Dubai, looking into your business as Browns, and had a lot of feedback from clients about it. But now I'm in Browns. One of the major USPs I see of the company is that in-house media team works so hard to portray the character of the boat, but also the efficiency and professionalism of Browns. I think that's a really interesting thing that people have noticed.
Yeah, I can't take any credit there. The team do a fantastic job at that, and I think ultimately it's the most important thing. It is the first impression. It is the opening the door to that boat. So, I think it's paramount that it looks how it is, and I think it's fantastic that we get that feedback. Yeah,
first impressions count. Simple as that.
Absolutely. From going to any potential listeners that are looking at listing their vessel for sale with us, we obviously offer out a comprehensive both listing package, i.e. a presentation on how we would do those things, but we also offer out FOC, comprehensive market valuation, and market validation, in the sense of we will also study vessels that are similar, because as we know, vessels just are not, they're all individual, no matter if they're production or not, they are all individual, and they all work in a different manner depending on what circumstance they're in.
Different features appeal to different people.
Absolutely.
So that's really important to highlight some of those things.
Yeah. So essentially what we're trying to say with that is that we do offer out this package which will give you a real feel for what the best and the worst case scenario could be for your vessel ultimately.
And coming back to that, just we mentioned earlier about the point about we're presenting the boat in a certain way, but also we're presenting ourselves, the customer, in a certain way.
Yeah.
We are giving an honest, straightforward, sincere appraisal of what the situation is. I think a lot of brokers out there just listen and are messengers for the guy who wants to sell, for the client, who is the most important factor. Whereas you've got to offer advice. You've got to tweak what the client thinks in order to get the right thing. If you want to decrease that 300 days to 60 to 90 days, you've got to be honest about price. You've got to talk about what's going to happen. You've got to role play scenarios with the client in order that he's aware that, where his worst case scenario is and his best case scenario. Because again, his business brain is going to click into that wavelength.
Oh, absolutely. And I think also, what customers sometimes misunderstand is, for us, it's not just, post it online at €1 million and hope it sells.
Yeah.
We will bring options with part exchanges if you're open to that idea.
Yeah.
We'll bring options whereby the customer might have, a certain financial situation that they need to work around. We will try and bring every possible scenario forward. So if you're not an active seller, if you don't want to sell the boat, if you're just putting it there to make it look pretty, we're probably not the right people. We are the people that you come to sell the vessel.
Yeah, exactly. An interesting thing, just while we're hitting this, and we haven't really touched on it, but there is some conversation with a certain finance house about bridging finance.
Yeah.
In that if you have a yacht already, but you see the yacht of your dreams and you need to move forward and you really want to pounce on that yacht, there is some discussion right now about taking that example as a whole case scenario and using the two boats as a kind of a bundle. So that
Absolutely.
Hopefully will be coming in the near future.
Yeah, more to come on that as soon as we have a little bit more intel. I wanted to make this episode short and punchy and explain why we do what we do, how we do what we do, how we go about doing that. So from that perspective, I think really we've covered all bases of what I wanted to cover. As we said before, get in touch if you want a free market valuation of where we are at the moment, of where your vessel sits in the market at the moment. And for the moment, we'll say ta-ra and we'll catch you in the next one.
Thank you very much.